Phil Collins, he was supposed to have. Well, I don't know if he was supposed to have a bigger part.
He wanted to get in the role of.
Yeah.
They're like, it's fine.
He did the method.
The only reason you're here is because you're Phil Collins. Okay.
You will be in my heart.
What if he tripped down the stairs as he was leaving and He's like, you know what? That was kind of cool.
Give him the belt. Give him the choke belt.
Damn it.
Can we somehow get that? And then he goes, you guys.
I have to quit the police force.
It's an origin story for Phil Collins. Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
I do.
The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names in the artwork, and using your dad's flip phone to call home and ask if he can pay off your late fee at Blockbuster. Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch. But there was something truly special about making that trip, picking a movie out by hand, and heading home to watch it. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Captain Redbeard. And joining me, as always, two dudes who swab my poop deck, Shaun Pryor and AJ Vance. How the heck are ya?
Tired of this shit.
Come
man.
on, give us a squudge. Come on.
Come on.
Where's the hook? Where's the hook?
Hook. There's the hook.
It's right in front.
There's the hook.
They're
It's right.
carrying.
Yeah, they're carrying. Oh, the
Yeah.
guy, the hook.
Oh.
Okay, and why do they call him Hook? Because of the hook.
You have to be more specific.
What
with
did they call him before the hook?
Yeah,
James?
Captain Hook, Captain James,
Captain Jimbo?
Captain Jim,
Jimmy?
Jimmersons.
I bet it was like James Cumberfield.
James comparable.
I think he has a last name in the movie, right?
No.
Nope. James Cumberbun.
Yes. JS, I think is what it was. JAS or something. I don't know, guys.
Well,
We'll get
whatever. Who cares?
there. F it.
My friends, on this episode, we're going to discuss a movie nominated for 5 Oscars. The 6th highest grossing movie of the year in 1991. A movie whose cast includes 6 Oscar winners and 3 Oscar nominees.
Wow.
Just none from this movie. The worst critically rated Steven Spielberg movie ever.
Spoilers.
We are, of course, talking about 1991's Hook.
It's Wednesday morning. It's early. Way too early for you. You're probably sitting in traffic, like me. Why not have your coffee and bacon with the Confused Breakfast Boys? Good morning, boys. Damn, dang it.
Had to bring it back.
I love it. I love it.
So this movie, Hook, was chosen directly by our Patreons. 34% vote. They just edged out Clerks.
Wow.
A lot of people have been talking about getting Clerks somehow onto this.
Getting
And
some Kevin Smith, yeah.
some sort of Kevin Smith. It just got edged out by Hook. The other ones were Little Giants, Tombstone, and Kindergarten Cop. But Hook was the winner. So if you don't agree with this, the only way to help to change this is to join the Patreon. You that top $10 tier, you get to vote on upcoming movies. You get bonus weekly audio content beyond this. Private Discord server and more. Go check it out. Patreon.com/confusedbreakfast.
And just so you know, when you do vote for a movie, and so you voted for Hook, now all those other movies we're never going to cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ever.
Sorry.
This is your fault.
Yeah.
If you're not a part of it, I'll keep saying it. It's your fault if you don't agree with this.
Clerks.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Kindergarten
those.
Cop.
Kindergarten.
Done.
Never
Sorry.
doing those.
Never.
Nope. It'll never happen.
Maybe we'll change our mind by the end of the podcast. We'll see.
Wow.
So if you are new to the podcast, we will be reviewing this movie with a modern eye, but in order to properly do that, we have to learn to strip away the nostalgia. The only way to do that is to talk about it with pure nostalgia. So AJ, tell us the first time you saw the movie and what your nostalgic rating is.
Allow me to introduce myself. I don't know. No.
What?
Yeah, here I am. AJ is going to talk about Hook and how much he really enjoyed it as a kid. Because this is It's funny that this lines up with Back to the Future. This is 100% another movie that my mom was so adamant about me watching and seeing, and it is a TBS special back then, dude. TBS special. But the biggest thing was, oh, that's Dustin Hoffman. Look, there's Dustin Hoffman. And I was like, I don't know who Dustin Hoffman is. In my little brain, I'm just like, oh, okay. And then you see Dustin Hoffman later on in life, and you're like, that's not Dustin Hoffman.
No.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, it had Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, Julia Roberts. Such an interesting story to me. Peter Pan. I really enjoyed this as a kid for the most part. There were parts I didn't understand, but I think I'm going to give this a nice little 7.2.
7.2, Shaun, how about you, man?
Yeah, this is an Uncle's Basement VHS that my brother would just watch. For new listeners out there, it's kind of a running theme. A lot of these movies I would watch in my uncle's basement while my parents would party upstairs and stuff like that. And my brother and I watched it and loved it. I remember like the feeling it gave me. I remember like certain shots scaring me.
It was very scary at times. Yeah,
we'll definitely get to that. But at that time, I'd have to say it was just a cool movie. I loved Robin Williams. 7.8.
7.8, guys. It will surprise you to know that I've never seen this movie.
I knew it.
I
I knew it.
How do you know that?
I knew this was going to happen. I literally thought about it. Yesterday as I was making final notes. I was like, you know what? This is going to be one of those movies Mike hasn't seen.
Well, I think it's
You haven't seen it, but you've like you love Peter Pan.
No. I think that's the thing. I just don't like. Peter Pan was never a thing
No.
that I was like, yeah, Peter Pan, be a
Yeah.
lost boy forever.
Let's go, bro.
No, that was it was never a thing. I didn't like it. So it was something, and I think because I am a little bit older than you guys.
Cheers.
That's what we do. We do that. I think that now I'm getting into being like age 9, 10, 11 as this movie has come out and hit TV.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I like Three Ninjas instead. Like, I don't want this fairy tale stuff, you know? And so I just never gave it a chance. So this is a big old NA for me. We do have an executive producer, David Gould, on this episode. He said,
DG.
if there were a Mount Rushmore of actors that shaped my childhood and comedic tastes, you would find powerhouses such as Jim Carrey and John Candy, but standing head-to-head with them would be Robin Williams.
Yeah. You're right.
The physicality and energy he would bring to the screen was infectious. There was something about his humor that was so hilarious that it would leave me rolling in tears. But there was also this feeling that something was going over my heads as my parents seemed to be laughing harder. I would watch him in Aladdin, Jumanji, and even Mork and Mindy. All were treasures to me. I can't remember if we rented Hook or if I found it on various cable channels, but I do remember how subversive it felt to be taken into Neverland. As a child, I find myself having a mental battle within. Is this the same Peter Pan story as the Disney cartoon or that god-awful television musical version my mom had taped from PBS? Actually, I think I saw that.
Okay.
Like the television musical type thing, and I was like, that's not for me. And I
Okay.
think that was I officially like, anything Peter Pan related, I'm out.
Okay, gotcha.
Thanks for reminding me, David. I didn't care either way. I wanted to learn how to skateboard and play basketball simultaneously. I wanted food fights. I also wanted to stay away from Grandma Wendy and Captain Hook at all costs. There was the joy, but also the spooky elements, so my nostalgic rating would have to be a 7.5. That takes us as a group, minus my NA, at a 7.5,
Wow.
which nostalgically actually ties with Big of any movie we have ever
That's
done.
kind of funny.
Sort of a never want to grow up, or
Yeah.
you feel me on that?
As we'll get into here in a little bit, Steven Spielberg was going to direct Big, as I found out in the research for this.
Oh.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Well, next it is time to learn all the pertinent, important details of the movie. That's Shaun's job. He's going to do it right now. Go.
My iPad won't work. Produced by Frank Marshall, Harold R. Mullen, and Kathleen Kennedy. Written by James V. Hart, Malia Scotch Mamo,
Nice.
and Nick Castle, who is Michael Myers in the original
Thad Castle.
Halloween.
You got it.
Ah.
Based on the books and play by J.M. Barrie. Cinematography by Dean Cundy. Probably
Is he the most cinematic
Yes.
guy that we've done on the show?
I think he's got the top spot for cinematographers of movies that we've covered.
He's just doing everything.
He's amazing. Edited by Michael Kahn, directed by Steven Spielberg. Cast: Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, Julia Roberts, Bob Hoskins, Maggie Smith, Caroline Goodall, Charlie Corsimo, Amber Scott, Phil Collins, and Dante Basco. Spielberg grew up having an infatuation with the story of Peter Pan when he was an adult, relating to the father-son aspect of the film and the fact that he went from making movies as a kid to the studio magnate with all these responsibilities. Spielberg's mother would read him Peter and Wendy, and the director would relate heavy with every aspect of the story, including the fear of flying. Spielberg would even go so far as to direct a stage play for a school that he went to. Co-writer Nick Castle was thinking about the story of Peter Pan, and while reading the story to his son asked, "Do you think Peter Pan ever grew up?" Castle thought about that and made that the main focus of his script. With the birth of Spielberg's son, the director dropped out several times to be a father, so Nick Castle took over directing duties. Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams weren't meshing well with the director, so he was paid $500,000 to step down and have Spielberg replace him after making Empire of the Sun.
Gosh, that
It's
is
crazy.
insane.
Yes,
Half a
You're
$500
so
million.
bad at your job that you get paid to not do it.
They gave him. they even gave him like points on the movie.
Just don't
revenue
do
po-
anything,
like,
please.
They just said,
Yeah.
and we'll even give you a credit or whatever
Yeah.
in the film, but we're
Amazing.
not going to have you do
I'll
so.
take
Story
it.
credit, not even script.
We're going to give you all this so you don't work.
Thank you.
Whoa. Okay, fine.
I
I'm
mean,
out.
whatever you want, man.
I'll
He's
sit on
still
my
getting
ass.
money from it.
Hook was originally going to be a musical starring Michael Jackson.
Oh.
I'll just let that sit for a second.
Time out. Just give it a second. Oh, that would have been really good. I would have watched that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
You would have seen it.
Yeah?
I hate musicals.
Tom Hanks was Spielberg's first choice for the role of Peter Pan. David Bowie, David Bowie, Christopher Lloyd, and Donald Sutherland were all considered for Hook. I could see every single one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can be like, oh, this would work,
Mhm.
but ultimately the choices they made were
Yeah.
the ones. I have
Yeah.
a recommendation later on of who I think could have played.
Okay.
Like, let's say we're redoing Hook.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about it later.
Okay.
I think the only person that maybe could have taken it to another level.
All
Cool.
right.
Hook began filming on February 19th, 1991 at Sony Picture Studios in Culver City, California. Filming was a little bit tumultuous with the production given a budget of $48 million. The shoot went over budget, extending to about $80 million and going 40 days over schedule of its planned 76-day shoot. Spielberg and Julia Roberts also had a hard time working with each other on the set, but got through it. I just want to read this. This is a direct quote from the IMDb facts, and I just love how like petty they are with their facts, because they'll say like a fact and then they'll say something at the end to like punctuate it. And so here this is. Julia Roberts almost put the production into jeopardy when she fled California after her wedding to Kiefer Sutherland was called off. She decided to avoid the press by hiding out in Ireland. A furious Steven Spielberg reportedly threatened to fire her if she didn't return immediately. And then here's the little stinger. In 1999, she made the movie Runaway Bride. Ain't that some shit?
Oh, man.
Ain't that some shit, reader? Anyway.
Is that fan? Did a fan write that, or is that?
I think it's just on the
it's just
IMDb
whatever.
facts. Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Who knows?
I mean,
The factoid.
yeah.
Okay.
Hook was released. I just love the little subtle jab.
Yeah.
Just so you know, she also
Funny.
made a movie called Runaway Bride.
Also, everyone hates her.
Yeah.
Hook was released on December 11th, 1991, and made $13.5 million its opening weekend, and would go on to make $300.9 million overall. And as Mike said, was nominated for 5 Academy Awards and didn't win a single one of them.
Well, we know you got at least one friend who loves this movie just as much as you do. Hit the little share icon on your podcast app. It's easy. You just just hit that, and then you can directly text message it. Say, hey, you have to listen to this. That is one of the best ways that you can support this podcast. Don't forget to also go to our website, confusedbreakfast.com. Grab T-shirts, buy some stuff. But also, a lot of people have been asking. They're like, I would love to see your ratings of all your movies. It's there.
Is there?
We have all of our group ratings, our individual ratings. You can go through and you can see who gave what. So it's a really cool thing to go through and compare. So I think you guys should check that, confusedbreakfast.com. Up next, we have AJ. He does the research for us. He has some ratings, reviews, critical fan to share. What do you think, man?
I can't wait to share this with you because I think it will be a massive surprise for the tomato meter.
Gross.
It was
a
apparently. It was a big gross, a big green
man.
gross of 29%.
29%.
on the tomato meter.
So let me tell you, we have done another movie that was a 29%. Heavyweights.
Wow.
Wow.
We're shitty kid actors gets a bad review, huh?
Yeah. It's
So what
strange.
this movie made on its opening weekend, 13.5, I bet Heavyweights was maybe not even made for 13.5.
That's actually
Fair enough.
probably pretty true.
You know,
Fair enough.
And just for a little more context, the 29% that Hook is slightly worse than Over the Top
wow.
per the critics, and slightly better than Boondock Saints per the critics. I just want to throw that out there, just to put it in perspective.
This is a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, the worst critical rating Steven Spielberg movie of all time.
We'll get there, but that is untrue.
Yeah. Well, audiences disagreed wholeheartedly at 76%.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's a huge difference.
A little bit of redemption there. IMDb came in at 6.8 on there.
So we have a ton of movies that we've done that are 6.8. This
Sure.
is tied with Wedding Singer, Fast and the Furious, Bloodsport, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 50 First Dates per fans.
Wow.
And that feels kind of okay to me, sort of. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's a weird group of movies, don't get me wrong. But
And they're all kind of just fine movies.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Which-
slightly below the 7, like
Yeah.
we said. Like, pretty good.
Yeah.
You're almost, yeah. It's watchable, it's enjoyable, but it's not something that we're going to go on and on about.
It's not something you're going to do a podcast episode about.
Yeah.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
No. Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. Well, I saw all these ratings and stuff. I decided to go straight in the middle for both of my critical reviews that I found. Number one was USA Today. Mike Clark, not Mark, gave it a 50 out of 100. Peter Pan is the boy who wouldn't grow up, and Hook is the movie that grows unbearable once a grown-up Peter arrives in Neverland with a merciless 90 minutes to go.
I
Zinger.
feel ya, kind of.
Ooh, would you shut up?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Come on. Dave Kerr at the Chicago Tribune. I found him. I read through a lot of his full review. They summed it up pretty easily in this kind of finishing paragraph, but I really did enjoy reading through his whole thing. He did a really nice breakdown of the movie, but overall it was just negative. You could just feel the negativity reading through. Regardless, 50 out of 100. Dave Kerr, Chicago Tribune, like the massive shipboard set that is its centerpiece. The film is huge and impressive, though, again, like the captain's imposing vessel, it stubbornly and disappointingly remains at anchor. Hook never sets sail.
Well, it doesn't. The pirate ship stays there.
It's true. It's very true. I love that. I love that, Dave Kerr. Good job.
That's what we call a motif.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I think.
I
I don't know.
Well, I think let me start with the 10 out of 10 here, okay? I got a few of these that I really want to try to get through as best I can. 10 out of 10. I don't know why, but I'm in tears. Said what's Ariel in 2021. I can't finish this movie. It made me cry, and I don't like that. 10 out,
What?
How do I process emotions right now?
10 out of 10. Let's.
I didn't finish it, but 10 out of 10.
I didn't finish it, but hey.
Liked what I watched.
Grow up.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna go with this one. This is a 1 out of 10. There is no worse film ever made. Would that it never existed. Okay. Derek Curry. He had this to say in 2011. It physically nauseates me to watch this grotesque horror of cinematography. What puts the bowel movement icing on the cake is that it was nominated for several awards and actually won 2 of them. More than any other film in existence, this film proves the inherent disease of bad taste running rampant in what we call Hollywood. He did quotes. There has been no more...
It's a real place, so you don't have to put in quotes.
Hollywood.
There's been no more unpardonably bad film ever made. J.M. Barrie, author of the eternally classic Peter Pan, would be spinning in his grave until this catastrophe of bad ideas is wiped from human memory. I'd give Hook a negative star rating if it would cause this fetid celluloid abomination to be sucked into a black hole and deleted from time. Watching Plan 9 from outer space would be a relief. You get the idea. Winky face with like the D smile. He did an emoji at the end of this. This
hate
pretentious son of a
this guy.
bitch did an emoji at the end of this.
Wink.
He's comparing this to Plan 9. It's just not even. Not even.
I just want you to know how culture educated I am by telling you Plan 9 is one of my favorite movies.
It's actually like one of the worst movies ever made, so I'm comparing it to that.
Yeah, that's I've seen it a lot of times.
It's actually very entertaining. So.
I'll skip this one for the most part. Avoid at all costs in 1999. Said 2 hours of my life I'd like to have back. Bloated and lifeless. They watched it during Thanksgiving. I wish I had that 2 hours of my Thanksgiving back,
Yeah,
so
right.
I could nap or something.
I
The
was
Lions
not
are on
thinking.
TV.
All right, last one. This is so far from what I picked through. This is definitely a favorite. It is a little bit longer. This is a 10 out of 10 though, guys. In 2020, warning spoilers. C.W. Beller said, "Think positive, fly high, and get hooked."
Oh.
Kids are kidnapped, an adolescent boy is stabbed, and a pirate suffers scorpion torture in this endearing family film. When a boy grows up fighting pirates, getting high on fairy dust, and causing general mayhem, what kind of man does he grow into? Well, a stuffy, stuck-up, neurotic dork, of course. Robin Williams plays a stick smuggler, Peter Banning, a man who would surely find the real Robin Williams insufferable and immature. The Peter Banning
That's very true.
character is not really a character so much as he is a caricature of buzzkill adulthood. When Peter's kids are kidnapped, he must rescue the tots from certain doom. It's off to never perpetuity land.
Perpetuity?
Never perpetuity land with the help of pesky pixie, Julia Roberts, and a band of orphans with lethal weapons who are just a bit cuter than the ones you see running the favelas in City of God. When Peter lands on the Disneyfied set of Pirate Plaza, complete with pirate hookers, Ron Burgundy would love this place. He dons a disguise that doesn't actually hide him from Hook. After plummeting from a plank and getting some underwater action from some mermaids,
Hell yeah.
Peter takes a giant seashell elevator up to Boys Town. When Peter lands in the playground of the Lost Boys, he is treated to a stimulating itinerary. Oh, sorry. A stimulating itinerary. Oh, this is okay. Of aerobics, name-calling contests, and food fights. He's got some adolescent competition, though. Enter a skunk-headed delinquent named after the date rape drug, and you've got a recipe for infanticide.
Rufio.
Named after, or was the
Oh,
drug
wow.
named after?
Ooh, take you to Neverland. Oh, no. This movie is... Whoa. None of that matters, though. What matters is that Hook is, in fact, an endearing, heartfelt ode to childhood wonder. When you finally cut through the cheese, it is genuinely moving.
I like that.
Okay.
That's
so he
cool.
basically is like, I'm gonna tell you the plot of the movie, but in my own
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
It was. And I just thought it was fun.
Yeah,
It was. It was
I
really
appreciate that.
So, yeah.
I appreciate that young man.
I appreciate that, young
Or
man.
if it was a young man, I don't know.
I'm proud we are of all of them.
Well, before we get started on the scene-to-scene breakdown of
That's
this
me.
amazing movie, I want to give a quick shout-out to our sponsor, Cedar Ridge Distillery. They are, in my own words, probably yours, the best whiskey distiller in the entire world. If you've bought a bottle, you know this. I just saw an article they shared on GoBourbon.com. They pointed out this insane fact that Cedar Ridge is the only craft distillery in America to be a state's #1 overall best-selling whiskey. So let me read this quote just so this tells you what's going on here.
Please.
In 49 states, a major distillery produces the #1 best-selling bourbon in the state. We're talking like, the Walmarts of the whiskey business, the Jim Beams,
Yeah.
the Jack Daniels, like, yeah,
Fireball.
Fireball.
Screwball. Yum.
So in many cases, obviously, that is what that is. But that is not the case in one state. That is Iowa,
That's where we are.
where Cedar Ridge has been the #1 for 2 straight years, outselling the nearest major distillery competitor by some 5%.
It must be really good.
Iowa knows stuff. When Iowa does something, you got to pay attention. And we are saying that Cedar Ridge whiskey is the best whiskey in the world. It's first Iowa, then it's going to be the Midwest, and then it's going to be the U.S., and then it's going to be the world. You got to check them out. Stop by a liquor store near you to pick some up. If the store doesn't have it, you can order a bottle directly online at cedarridgewhiskey.com. Stop by the website, add them on social media. Go check them out in person. Come to Swisher, Iowa. They have an amazing facility. Tell them Confused Breakfast sent you and grab a bottle. Trust us. It's the absolute best. Drink responsibly. CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com. Fuck yeah, Slipknot.
Oh, my God, so good. Well, boys, it's been a long week. I'm tired, and I've just had an apostrophe, a piffy, that to die would be a grand adventure. It's the only adventure that I have left at this point in my life.
Jesus.
So let's head for the second star to the right and straight on till morning. It's obvious that we have to fly, we have to fight, and we have to crow. Bangerang, motherfuckers.
Bangerang.
Here we go. So Peter Manning is a businessman who is more concerned with his work than his family. The family then take a flight to London to visit Granny Wendy, who is being honored for her charitable work. While Peter and Moira accompany Wendy to the party, Maggie and Jack are abducted. The police are called, but when Wendy takes Peter aside and explains that he must remember who he is in order to save his children.
Absolutely.
Man, as soon as this movie opens up, it is just like nostalgia overload. I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, probably. And as soon as it opens up to like them doing the stage thing of Peter Pan, I'm like, wow. And then seeing Robin Williams with his what haircut he's got, I don't know. And then I'm just like, all those kids are riveted by this. How?
I know.
Like no phones, you know. Better
No
times.
phone
Not a phone
bro.
inside. Camcorders.
Except for Peter's.
That's
Right.
right.
Whoa.
See, it wasn't the kids all along. It was these dang stuffy boomers that are just
That's
on there
right.
doing
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
He is doing business during his kids. Like you're gonna take that call. You're gonna be that guy.
The one thing I know about life is that if you can look back on the 70s, 80s, even 90s, like things were. I'm a real estate agent in my real life, and the way it used to work was literally I'm saying if I worked in the 90s, I would have a 9-to-5 job in my office that if you wanted to see a house on the weekend, you would leave me a voicemail in my office, and then I wouldn't get to it till Monday. There was not this urgent, unbelievable, like, I sent you a text. Why didn't you get back to me?
Why didn't you do this?
So, like, I don't like the 90s trope of just the, like, they're calling him on his cell phone, and he's got to hurry up and answer this, or else he could have easily left that in the car, and then he could have gone out to his car, and then they could have had whatever conversation they were having, and it would have changed nothing.
Yeah.
It's such a 90s weird trope to have the like, I don't know, just the
Too busy
like,
for his family
too
father.
busy for his family father.
Yeah.
Like, what happens next? You
Yeah.
know, I don't like that, but I do have questions as we go on. I'm going to keep pointing this out. Like, Peter hates his kids, right?
Yeah. I think he's perpetually like on edge about his job and everything else. That the one, like he can't even take his own jokes, you know, as we'll see later. It's exhausting to watch him be like this.
Is this a subconscious, like, deep level of he just spent how many years of his life as Peter Pan? Like, we don't even know how long he was Peter Pan.
Correct.
Right?
Sure.
That's a good point.
It's like the Groundhog Day thing.
Yep.
He could have been Peter Pan for 40 years or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
So he's had this life of debauchery and, like, getting any woman he wanted in his life and doing whatever he wanted.
As a 12-year-old boy.
As a 12-year-old boy, yeah. Wait, hold on.
Mermaids.
Anyway, and so then he's got now he's forgot about it, but the subconscious level of the human brain knows these things. So, like, is he mad? Is his subconscious mad at him for choosing the fucking shitty kids and getting old? Like, I think it really comes through in his performance.
I think so too. And like, to your like, you don't like the trope of like the not really there for their kids or family father. I think it works with this, and I think you agree. But I think the way, because his opposite self is so fantastical, you know, it works. Because, like I just said, I'm exhausted by watching him be like this, especially Robin Williams. Like, one of the reviewers is like he said that his character would hate actual Robin Williams.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect. You know?
you go.
It's 100% true. This is there's a thing out there called the Peter Pan syndrome, Peter Pan effect. It's of men, boys who don't want to grow up, right? And this is, they take it to the opposite. If I had to guess, I'd say there's probably 3 out of 3 in this room who might suffer from at least a little bit of the Peter Pan syndrome. So,
Talking about a movie from the year I was born.
I'm not including Zrag over there, but
Zrag's a professional.
he is. But at the same time, like, you have to take it to the complete opposite of what this Peter Pan effect is, of never growing up, never not wanting to take the 9 to 5,
You got to do
not
that.
wanting to have kids. And there's a point in life, and Peter Banning is the identity of that.
Yeah.
He is the opposite of that. He has the 9 to 5. He's so dedicated to it. And Hook says it later on. It's like a man who resents his kids, drinks too much, and is obsessed with success.
Yeah.
And it's the exact opposite of what Peter Pan is.
People were idiots in the early 90s, too, so you have to really slap them in the face with that so they understand.
That makes sense.
I guess.
I'm just making that up because I was in the early 90s, too, I guess.
I mean, even his son was just like, Dad, my game. It's like, I brought my baseball and my glove to remind you.
Yeah, see? See, I'm obsessed with things, too, just like you, Dad. Like,
I'm a kid. I'm always going to be a kid. I love baseball. That's my character.
I would kick his kid. I would kick Jack in the face and just deal with the consequences if I was on that flight to London and he was throwing the baseball up and hitting the
Oh, my
luggage.
God.
I would just be like, that's fine. I'm going to jail for the rest of my life, but this kid needs to die.
Nowadays, people would have you on like Facebook Live, like while you did that, while you reprimanded him, and they wouldn't catch the you're afraid you're gonna get sucked out. It's fine.
They wouldn't catch that on video.
Wah, thrown against the ceiling. They wouldn't get that on Facebook Live. What they would hit play on
Is
and
my
record
foot hitting his face.
is you. Would you grow up? What the hell's the matter with you?
there's
I
no-
can't believe
I
you would
know.
just.
There's no context in these videos, you know? Maybe the Karens are right. I don't know.
Karens are
Maybe
right.
Karens are right.
Who knows? If I'm gonna be going through Costco and my kid's gonna be a dick,
The fucking phone draw. Like I will
Hey,
never.
Hey, did you guys know we have cell phones now? Did you guys know we have cell phones now?
This was a huge deal, though, if you remember, because like the first, like, we didn't get a bag phone. We got the car bag phone in like 95 or something like that. So 91 to have an actual flip phone, they were playing off of that.
I will never love any regular job that I have just to make money, and I hope they're not listening. I will never love any
Pretty good.
job
Hold
like
on,
that.
Shaun, phone's for you. Cell phone's for you.
No. I will never
Wakes up from nightmare.
never buy into like that kind of corporate mentality of like, hey, we're joking around, having fun in our jobs. Like, I want to get the fuck out of here right now.
And remember, don't let your arm get tired.
He is not. This is perpetuating the kids thing. He is not rushing out of there.
No. Yeah, he's
He
like
knows-
he's having fun.
Yeah, and he's like, hold on, and he like stops. I picture him stopping the elevator, be like, wait a minute, we need to talk longer. Hold on a
Yeah.
second, I'm not in a hurry,
No.
but I have this baseball hat on. It proves I'm on my way to my kid's game.
It's
yeah,
Blues versus Reds.
Yeah, Blues. Those were the primary teams in the early 90s.
And when they're on the plane as well, the voice on the intercom is Dustin Hoffman as the captain.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's like, this is your captain speaking, and he does the whole ramble.
This
So
is your
does that mean
captain
this is all a
speaking.
dream?
See, we get there. Throughout this movie, like even towards the end where Bob Hoskins shows up again, spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it kind of calls that into question, but you know.
No, I don't want to buy it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Office culture was
I'm just joking.
office culture
Later.
was lame AF, but Little League culture was dope AF.
Yeah, it was.
Those uniforms, Chauncey's Cleaners is shelling out for those uniforms, bro. Those are legit AF. Okay.
And what is the Santa series? I want one.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
The Date Nut series or whatever it is.
I want
Yeah.
this.
There was like something in the way of that shot and that sign. I'm like, date nut?
Date Nut.
What the? Okay.
It's
Something whimsical, probably.
It's where a lot of single moms, became single moms. Probably
Hell
they
yeah.
can date now.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Hot moms and shit.
Hot moms and shit, dude.
Fucking sex.
Yeah, because dad's too busy. He's got to send somebody to record it in the
Hell yeah.
videotape and shit.
Fucking missionary and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Rules.
Missionary.
What? Oh.
What do you guys
talk.
What do you guys think about Maggie Smith as Grandma Wendy?
Oh, nope. Never mind. You go ahead, Shaun.
Sorry.
He put his
hand- he raised his
left
hand.
went up.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I thought she was perpetually this age her entire
Do you know how
career.
old she is in this movie?
She's like 40.
57.
57.
Is her actual age in this movie.
Wow.
This makeup is one of the best old age makeups in the entire world because she looks like she does in this movie in Harry Potter,
Yes.
100%.
which
That
was like
was-
10 years later.
I'll be honest
More
with you.
than that,
She almost looks better in Harry Potter than she does
Honestly.
in this.
they
I'm
make
like
her
100%.
look real decrepit.
She is very good.
Yeah.
And it's like a testament to the makeup, obviously, which is incredible, but acting through it
I
is
might
a testament.
I
as
might
well.
want her. We always talk about like cinema moms and dads and grandmas.
Yeah.
Like I want to maybe add her to the grandma or great grandma
so.
list. Like the way she presents her line, I have one rule: no growing up. Stop this very instant.
Yeah.
Like that is such a like.
Yeah, when
Okay, I
you're
won't.
when you're
I
at
won't.
grandma's house, it's
Stop.
just there's no real life.
Yeah.
You know, it's just having fun and that's what a grandparent should be, really. You know, remind kids that they're kids.
Did you look or see any photos or stills of her from her earlier performances, like earlier in life and everything? She is like the visual, like physical embodiment of what you would call a dame
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
cinema. An English dame, just absolutely stunningly gorgeous. And I still think she is even throughout
Yeah, totally.
all her entire career and everything. And you're right. It's just to have. She is one of those folks that you're just like, I would love to like sit down and have a conversation with you while we have like classy cocktails and or tea or whatever it is. You know, she is one of those people in cinema for sure for me.
If you've ever been to London, the Moira makes a comment about something about London, and it's very true. Like I think there is something kind of magical about London, and it's cool that they go there for this, and that's a whole part of it. The interior scenes were all kind of intense too, because even that yelling scene with Robin Williams where he like really loses it on his kids and he's ignoring her. She's like, Peter, let me show you my dress. Oh, that looks great. He's like, it just frustrates me. I don't know how you guys felt about that as a kid. Was that something you really were like mad at? As an adult right now, I'm just like so frustrated with his character at this point.
I think when I was watching as a kid, I just related more to the kid. I'm like, and because it's Robin Williams as well, like, oh, flubber. You know, he's not that in this. You know, like he really scares you.
It's one of those,
and especially in that outburst.
It's one of those moments that I think as a kid you just kind of think Robin Williams is just always being funny.
Yeah.
So it's not harmful. You know,
he's gonna change that scowl into it. Just kidding. Tickle
Right.
fight.
Yeah.
You know.
and
yeah.
But
he's just gonna turn into Patch Adams, and he might.
I wish.
And so, but at the same time, but then yes, watching it as an adult, you're like, oh man, that is just rough. You're right. And like the magical feeling of the snow falling in London as they're rolling up to the house and everything, and the shots, the distant shots, the scapes.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Amazing. And then he comes through with this when they're supposed to be on vacation, and I love it's so satisfying when she throws that phone out the window. Is there any moment for you though that you're like for him,
yes,
the biggest deal of his life? Maybe he could just retire and be done with everything.
Pretty important.
This is what I'm saying is because like yes, we hate him for this.
Yes.
And you know, he should be looking after his kids and be more involved in everything. Definitely. But also the only reason they can afford to go to London is because of him.
To take a family to London?
Like I'm just saying, like he's got to do something.
It's
maybe not as much as he's in, but you know, I don't know.
This movie, we'll talk about it later. It teaches you to be a parent and try to find some sort of middle ground. Because you're right. I mean, like it really sucks for me to leave town. Like my daughter's sick right now, and I had to leave yesterday, and then I had to come here today, and it's like, well, but I'm I got to go do these things.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not happy with it. I got to go do it.
Spielberg put off doing this movie for
Yeah.
a couple years because he had a son. I want to be there for my kid, kind of thing.
To anybody who doesn't remember cell phones back in the day, even getting into the early 2000s, like we're thinking about our iPhones now, and they got to have screen protectors, and they got to have. And if an iPhone would have got thrown out of that window, like it's done, it's broken.
Yeah.
But do you remember like those old phones, specifically the Motorola's?
Yep.
The gray Motorola's that had the blue or the green screen that you could play Snake on.
Yeah.
Those were indestructible.
Could run over them with a car.
Yes, we would throw them against a brick wall as hard as we could just to show that it would still work.
And
I
for
miss
some
those
reason, we decided to go to frail, flimsy like this.
The whole screen.
Like-
days. Triple the price.
Just a block of glass.
Yeah.
These will be fine.
hey, oh no, your screen broke. That's too bad. It's like, you know what we should do? We should add more glass to it.
Yeah.
Put it on the back. All
Cool.
right, sounds good.
Before they left for the her appreciation night is what I think it is.
Yep.
More or
Dedication.
less. She was wearing like it looked like a nighttime like Victorian negligee.
Sure.
Like I thought it was like her nighttime stuff, but no, she went out in that.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
it's the
If you,
English.
add,
still weird.
if you add fur to it, it's going out attire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have pearls on or not?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you have pearl necklace on yet?
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Dane.
She runs an orphanage.
What do you think? So they go to the dinner, and that's happened, and obviously the scary implications of Hook taking the kids. I guess obviously because I've never seen it, but I thought about making this my prop, the Hook door lock.
It's cool.
That is a really cool touch, and all the special effects here I thought were really great. And then what do you think about all of a sudden Phil Collins is in the movie? Did you know this?
No.
Out of nowhere.
Did you would you look at that and go, that's Phil Collins?
No.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
you did?
Yes.
This viewing.
Okay, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like I did read that he was in the movie before I watched it, and then I'm like, well, he's like somewhere when the like scarcely in the background. Like, no, he's right front and
Phil
center.
Collins. I'm a huge Phil Collins fan, and I was just like, excuse me, what?
He's handsome in this.
He is.
He is an English gentleman in this,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's got a role, but he does have kind of a crappy outlook for an inspector or detective. He's like, yeah, maybe it's just a joke, you know.
Well, they don't
My
play
kids are
up
gone.
on this
It's
at
like
all.
my kids are missing.
They
Okay.
don't do a good enough job of like establishing that this story is a real story that was written by this lady, right? Like Wendy wrote these stories.
Yeah,
I think it's
she's a contributor or something.
I think
Somebody
she-
wrote them about
and
her.
everyone knows that. Everyone's like, that's Wendy from Peter Pan.
yeah.
Right.
You know, so like, and that's Captain Hook. Like they don't really play up that much.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think there's the point of Maggie plays Wendy in the play in the opening
Yeah.
of this, right? And she even talks about like
Are you
you're
the real
you're the
Wendy?
real
Real
Wendy,
Wendy.
like from my play. I played you in this, and they don't really allude to the fact that at least, look, even if Neverland wasn't real and Peter Banning wasn't actually Peter Pan, these are still famous childhood stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in that
we need
time,
to establish that.
that's a really important thing to establish. You're right.
Where Phil Collins is literally like, it's weird, right? That like we think somebody's fucking with you because there's no such thing as Captain Hook.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think that's a great point actually, because look, these stories are famous. We know who Wendy is. You know, I'm an English person who lives around here. I'm the inspector for the
Yeah.
area. We know who Wendy is, who contributed to these amazing stories, for these childhood stories. Yeah, it's but Phil Collins, he was supposed to have. Well, I don't know if he was supposed to have a bigger part, right? But
No.
he was. There was like this confusion that he would or something.
Yes. he was third billed
Yeah.
with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman.
He's
They're like,
third
"Oh,
billed?
you're in a movie with them?" You know, and so like he was concerned that like his fans and people who liked him would go to the movie and see him in one scene and be like, oh, well, I guess all of his other stuff was cut out
he
because he's so
wasn't good.
bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, that
right.
makes sense. That makes a lot
And
of
I guess
sense.
he did spend like 3 days like rehearsing his parts, and he wanted to like get in the role of.
Yeah.
They're like, it's fine.
He did the
only,
method.
The only
The
reason
method
you're here is because you're Phil Collins. Okay.
You will be in my heart.
If he like tripped down the stairs as he was leaving and like, he's like, you know what? That was kind of cool.
Give him the belt. Give him the choke belt.
Damn it.
Can we somehow get that? And then he goes,
You guys.
"I
have to quit the police force.
It's an origin story for Phil Collins." Okay.
Okay.
Well, hey,
Wonderful.
Super special shout out before we move on to scene 2. I got to thank everyone who maybe's just joining this podcast after hearing us on the Bertcast. We're so glad to have you here. This whole experience was absolutely incredible to us, but we knew that once this episode came out, we were going to have a huge influx of visitors to our website. The only problem was we didn't have a website. It was just a link tree. It sure looks like a website, but it just like, here's a link tree. So I knew we needed a pro website before that episode came out, and luckily we found Driving Cap Digital, and I'm glad we did. Driving Cap Digital is a full-service web design and digital marketing company with a team of professional designers and marketers that can give your business the ability to reach more people and have more opportunities. Driving Cap Digital specializes in helping small business owners and entrepreneurs get the most bang for their buck. They create websites that look modern, fresh, and professional and develop marketing goals that perfectly suit your business. Driving Cap also offers services such as social media and email marketing, search engine optimization, and
You got it.
and analytics for your site, and even copywriting and consulting for your business. The process with them from start to finish was seamless. It was quick. We have our incredible new website. It was just in time. You got to go check it out, confusedbreakfast.com. It's no longer a link tree.
Yeah.
It goes straight to our website. It looks great. It was easy. It's got our ranking system on there. And after that, go check out drivingcapdigital.com. We also got it in the show notes. You got to check out their work and get started with them. I promise you, if you need a website, you have to have one. If you do anything creative, go check them out. Driving business, driving passion, driving cap.
I'm super proud of it. It looks great, and super proud to be a part of it. It's awesome.
I had a lot of fun just scrolling through our ratings, actually, for a moment. I bounced around. You can even do them by person. You can do them by overall. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
It's cool.
So scene 2, sitting in the house's nursery, Peter is surprised when a star appears to fall through the nursery window. It turns out it's Tinkerbell, who has come to help Peter. She kidnaps him and takes him to Neverland. Peter wakes up in Pirate Town as Mr. Smee presents the illustrious Captain Hook, who has captured Peter Pan's children in hopes to lead him back to Neverland and to his doom. When Peter steps forward, Hook is saddened to see that Peter Pan has become a middle-aged man. Hook demands that Peter fly up to the ship, touch the fingers of his children, promising they'll go home if he can, but he can't. Just then, Tinkerbell appears and promises Hook that given 3 days, she'll get Peter into shape. Did you know this was Julia Roberts? I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
It didn't come out right. I was gonna be like,
sure?
can you believe that cameo, Julia Roberts? It came out really bad. Sorry, guys.
I had a giant fucking crush on Julia Roberts when I was a kid, and I still do. It's not going to go away. I legit thought I was going to marry Julia Roberts, and I still might.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's a
Now that
moment.
Kiefer Sutherland, the whole thing's not
Yeah,
working.
Yeah, now that didn't
Thank
work
God.
out, I think you're good. The
I'm
whole
not gonna.
his whole Lost Boys thing, and then she's part. Wait,
What?
Wait a second.
Oh shit!
And by the way, I believe she also started a relationship with Jason. What's his name? Patrick.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
She also she did. She started a relationship afterwards with Jason Patrick.
Wow.
Who played Michael in the Lost Boys.
Cool.
A lot of.
By the way, like 10 of our last voicemails have started off, Michael. Michael.
Here you are.
Dude, you're absolutely right. Julia Roberts, she's a beautiful, beautiful human being. But this movie, I'd never seen this. I didn't realize she was in this, so I popped. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
I love the line Robin Williams is like, yeah, you're a fairy and You have lovely legs. It's like we're all thinking that.
Yep.
Thank you very much for saying that.
What am I saying?
The pixie haircut. I love it all.
Yeah, and like it was really amazing to me. They clearly did spend a lot of money on this movie. Just her in the dollhouse and how realistic that looks.
There's not a moment during that scene that I question it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. She's just small.
Even when she's crawling on his chest.
Yes.
The little tiny footprints.
And they stay with him for
it's
like the rest of it.
amazing.
It's so
It's
cool.
phenomenal.
And that's what gives him away pretty much.
Yep.
There's a moment too where he opens up the door or the window, what have you, and everything. And I thought back to this actually. My wife, I was watching this for the last time. My wife mentioned that when they walk into the house, right? They all walk in, family runs in, and Peter's the last one in the door. But he never closes the door behind him.
Oh.
Actually, he never closes the door when walking into Wendy's house. He just walks into the living room. Nobody closes the door. And so I think that, I don't know that this is actually a thing. It's probably not. But it made me think of the subtlety of that Peter flies into open doors and he never closes them behind him.
That's just like how he lives his life
how he
subconsciously.
lives his life. And this is, again, him walking in and he opens up these doors again. And then you have Tink coming in. I would have never noticed that if my wife Elisha had never said something like, "Oh yeah, just leave the door open behind you," because why the hell? I was like, "Wait a second,
wait a minute,"
because he never closes the doors, and we talk about that later on. We'll get to in probably the next scene, I believe.
Yeah,
so
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I got to talk about the brilliance of Steven Spielberg. Obviously, we all know that he's brilliant, but even when they show up and obviously like the slashes are through the glass and the door and everything, his framing of this makes this one shot look like it's edited, because the way he positions his characters in his shot, I think Robin Williams is on the right or like kind of center at first, and then he kind of drifts to the right and then the left, but it's just them moving, and maybe like there's a subtle camera movement, but go back and watch that scene, because even just that's hard to do, man. Like there's 3 huge faces on screen, and you make it look like it's edited in post, but no, you're just doing it on screen with your direction of your characters and positioning of the camera. It's just he's so good.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason he is Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
That's why.
That's why they say, you're the Gretzky of
Spielberg.
this, or you're the Spielberg of
just
that.
the best.
You're the Spielberg of hockey.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that.
Hey.
A lot of people say that about me.
My other thing though too in this whole process, again, when Hook does it, he kidnaps the kids and everything, and you just have, what is Liza's role in this? Lisa, whatever the
Who is she?
Who is she?
Seems like a maid.
The children were screaming.
That's scary.
Yes.
That's scary.
And you're, dude,
I don't like it.
I did not like that one bit.
And
it only adds for this dramatic effect, which is one of the scariest parts of when they are getting kidnapped. And when they have to think about that, when they have to follow the stairs up after this long, like knife-looking cut through the entire house and everything.
We just got done watching a bunch of horror movies. That is, you don't go up there.
No, you don't go up there.
You just don't do that.
As a parent, you might, because you're like, I got to make sure they're okay. But when the lady says the door shut and the children were screaming, and you're just, and no, Toodles is even bothered by this. I think that's your other sign.
Yeah.
Mr. Marbles is also upset. So
Hook. So we get
Hook
to
is back.
Hook is back. I love his little poem that he reads there. We finally get to go. Tinkerbell takes him to Pirate Town.
Yeah.
Pirate
Town.
Well,
is that what it's called?
Before
I hope
that, as they're leaving, there's like that couple that's floating up along with them. That's apparently Carrie Fisher and George Lucas.
So that's one of many weird cameos in this.
Yeah.
We had Phil Collins. We had those two.
Those two so far.
We'll get to it later, but one of the big ones, the pirate.
Yeah, let's name a few of them so we can do it for TikTok.
That's cool.
Know what I mean?
Gutless.
David Crosby was one of the pirates. He was the one holding the accordion for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Buffett, a pirate looks at 40, was a pirate in this movie. He was one of the shoe stealers.
he never
I fucking love Jimmy Buffett.
He never
Jimmy
lost
Buffett
that.
is the real Peter Pan. Let's just
Jimmy
go ahead
Buffett
and say
is.
He never lost that like ship mentality, that salt life mentality.
Is it he's the guy who like wants the shoes?
Yeah,
like,
he's
no
off
shoe,
to the
no
right. He's one of the shoe guys.
No shirt, no shoes.
Yeah, dude.
No problem, baby.
I'll tell you one more, and then you can tell me the other one. Gwyneth Paltrow. People
Yeah.
do recognize her, but that was only her second movie she'd ever been. She was teenage Wendy later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this pirate that Hook points out is Glenn Close.
Unbelievable.
I mean, when you go back and watch it, you're like, that looks familiar, because it just looks out of place.
Yes.
But like, I mean,
This is
it's Glenn Close.
It's
She's
Gut-
amazing.
Gutless the pirate, the one that was put into the boo box.
Yeah,
terrifying.
boo box-
Yes, her scream too.
Good
Was, I don't
Lord.
like it, man.
Boo
This
box
is
horrifying.
This is one of those things that, again, my mom showing me this movie, making me watch it, having me watch it with her, said, "That's Glenn Close." And
No!
I said, I don't even know who Glenn Close
You're like,
is.
who is he?
I don't even know.
Who is he, Glenn
yeah,
Close?
who's Glenn? Who's this guy named Glenn? I had no idea. And she's like, no, from this or from that.
From
And
the
I'd be like,
Shield.
I don't even know. And then I look, and now I'm looking back on it, rewatching it this time, and I get to share that with my wife.
Is this
again.
a Huey Lewis moment from
It was.
Don't
It was
say
me
it.
just
Don't
like,
say it.
don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Did you know it's Glenn Close?
What just happened to you, man?
And she just goes, "Who's Glenn
It's Glenn
Close?"
Close. That right there is Glenn Close. It's just Glenn Close. That's Gutless Pirate, and it's in the boo box.
Like, he's a weird looking man.
Don't say it.
Well, her name's Glenn. I don't. Glendella.
Glendale.
Glendale.
Yeah.
Glendale.
This is where finally the real Robin Williams starts to show up in his physical comedy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when she's Tinkerbell's telling him to, okay, now lower your arm. Okay, now Jewel come out. And like as he does
Yeah.
that where he's
Cute.
walking is so perfect. And then there was a moment that reminded me of Letterkenny. I don't know how much you guys like Letterkenny. Is he goes, and now make a pirate sound. Arr! And the guy goes, Arr, how are you now? Not bad. Yourself? It's the same as Letterkenny. Like, how are you now? Good, and you? Not so bad.
Not so bad.
I wonder if they got a cue from that, but I love that little. Finally, it's like we got Robin Williams
Yeah.
in this movie from that point.
Well, and these sets are incredible. This is all sets. This
Jesus.
is like almost every external external shot in Neverland is
Yeah.
a set, and it looks absolutely incredible. And you can see the budget
I love the
on screen.
I love the reveal of it.
Yeah,
It's him covered in the sheet, and then he sees the
Pretty
clock,
awesome.
and then he tears it open, and it just reveals this
Mhm.
whole world. I thought that was a really cool reveal.
yeah.
My only issue with it is it seems like there's too much sometimes throughout this whole movie. It seems like there's so much in the set. There's like boxes and things there and ropes there, and it's sometimes it gets a little too
Overwhelming.
much to look. Even my wife said that today. She's like, "There's just a lot. I don't know what to focus on right now." Sometimes maybe that was a clear choice just to make it more fantastical.
Yeah,
and
you go
stuff.
back and notice new things, maybe.
Yeah,
Help him get think that he can get lost in this world,
Sure.
like he's not going to be recognized or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
you're right. There's not even in his even when we're following them, you don't get much close up. You get it's still very far away shots. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty overwhelming.
do they do this every single morning?
I was gonna say,
Hook.
Hey.
Hook.
hey, who's got Hook's hook? Who's sharpening up the hook? Hey, I need the hook.
Okay, guys,
It's-
start
all
the
right.
song. We got to
Smee.
walk towards the ship, and then
Smee.
they walk to the ship, and
Does
then
it-
and Smee has to present
It's
Captain Hook to the
Smee.
same people.
Does Smee look for other pirates like he looks for birthday singers at Chili's or something? He's just like, we need singers. Come on, we need singers.
Birthday at table 4.
Every day is Hook Day here, and let's go. We need singers.
I forgot it was Hook Day. It's every day.
It's every day.
George, every freaking day. And we finally get Dustin Hoffman 40 minutes into the movie. We finally get him.
Hook.
I'll go on a limb here. Dustin Hoffman's the best performance in this movie.
Mm.
I agree. I think I agree with you.
There's some great ones, but it's rare that somebody outshines Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And he does. I love Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman is like, when you
Yeah.
say who's the best pirate on screen ever, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Jack Sparrow. It's like, no, Captain Hook for me.
Yeah.
That's who I want as my pirate in a movie.
I'm with you. I'm on that train.
It's incredibly iconic if you especially if you have seen the cartoon, like the Disney movie cartoon. He embodies Captain Hook that you see as a cartoon. He just brought it to real life so well. And I'll take this moment, I guess, just to say about Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams. I just feel like they're two sides of the same coin. To be able to get to watch both of them come together on this movie is a really special thing that I'm really glad that the world got to experience. They're this perfect yin and yang almost, and I just can't. It's kind of hard to explain how perfect they were in these roles. It's a really special thing. And that's the one thing, if anything, I think people should take away from this movie, how special it was to see both of them just play against each other incredibly, just perfectly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, speaking on Robin Williams in this too, him and Steven Spielberg like really got along. They like became really, really good friends from this production. And when Robin Williams passed away, Steven Spielberg put this movie on to just kind of revisit him, just like my friend. And
The good times they had.
Yeah,
together.
he couldn't finish it just because he was so like he just couldn't watch him anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like also made me tear up while watching this. Is I miss Robin Williams so much.
Good Lord.
I
What
agree.
a talent.
I agree.
It's like super hard to not have him in movies anymore. Or
It's like when we see John Candy in movies,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
come on. I still want you here making beautiful movies. And
but we like you're saying, we do get a treat in being able to revisit his greatness.
that is I talk about it a lot in music, where somebody passes away, but if they've created something, if they've created a song or an album or a movie, it's like it is forever.
They're never going away.
It will never go away. Like I think about my grandpa a lot, and it's getting harder to remember him. You know, like to be like I forget kind of how he looked. But if my grandpa had been a movie star or had written an album, like that, I could just visit that every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so important to make art, and that's why art is so important. Is that it's like it lives forever, man.
Yeah.
It really does. It's a currency that transcends, the time and inflation and all this BS that we always have to deal with and everything. And art is that currency. Just one last touch, I guess, on Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams. They really had such a respect for each other in their roles. Dustin Hoffman talked about Robin Williams. They talked about this like battle of wits they would constantly have, little things like that, and there's more to that story. You might know more about it than me, Shaun. But
they did like subtle jabs at each other, like if one would mess up a take. And so in the movie called Marathon Man, which Dustin Hoffman is in, one of the actors in there, like Dustin Hoffman was doing like the method thing, and he like wasn't getting the take in that movie, and I think it's Laurence Olivier maybe in that movie. Was like, well, my dear boy, you could try acting. That's like a famous quote or famous line that he like said to him in real life, and so Robin Williams would say that to Dustin Hoffman when he like would flub a take or something.
And Dustin Hoffman later on talked about Robin Williams in just this way of that it's like he had two different personalities. He had two different personalities that he would, and one was this person that you didn't want your kid to be. Like you would hate trying to raise this kid.
Yeah.
He was so boisterous and so outspoken, just all over the place. And then there was this other take that was very shy and very reserved and very critical and very guesstimating about his own performance at times. And that's now you hear about that, and we know about Robin Williams and everything, and it's kind of tough to hear. But at the same time, I think Dustin Hoffman still said it out of such a respect for him that he was. Yes, he was this hilarious person who probably seemed very off the cuff and not very put together. But at the same time, he was very, very critical, and he was very, very. He really cared about his performance that he gave when he was giving it.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, let's move it along. So scene 3, Peter and Tink then return to the Lost Boys hideout, now under the leadership of a boy named Rufio. The Lost Boys unite to help Peter get his children back. Meanwhile, Peter is put through his paces with various exercises and eventually learns to be Peter Pan again. Smee and Hook devise a devious plan on the Jolly Roger to turn Jack and Maggie against Peter. A ball game is held, and Peter witnesses Jack and Hook growing closer.
Push button. Push goddamn button.
Which one?
Wait.
Which
Prop.
button?
Prop.
No prop.
Wait,
Prop.
no.
Ooh.
He said it
here's
first.
a prop.
John said it first.
Rufio sword.
Damn
Peter Pan
it!
sword.
You can't have his sword. That's Peter Pan's sword, actually, though, right?
Rufio's and then Peter Pan's.
Sorry, AJ. Come on over. Come back over. He said it first.
Are you good?
No.
You good?
This is what I've always wanted ever since watching this movie as a kid.
You want his sword.
I want his sword
his little
so
tiny
bad.
baby sword.
The little sword.
I love you, and I'm willing to bargain with you.
Okay.
What do you have? What prop do you have from past movies?
Pick a good one.
From
that
past
that you can
movies?
trade to Shaun.
From past movies?
Or
Yeah.
this movie. If you have
Do you have a good one from this movie that you can think of? I'll tell you what mine's going to be.
We'll get yours out of the way because I don't want to barter
It's
with
not.
what
It's
you
not
want.
what you want, but I want. I want the little mini glove attachment that goes on his hook at the baseball game. It's just the little baby glove. He's like, "Bring it on in here! I'm gonna catch a ball at the game." That's what I want. or the white baseball pirate hat that all the players are wearing.
See, that was my
That's a
original
cool hat.
one.
I like that hat.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm sure it's really good. It's fine.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think of like past ones that I've taken. Okay.
Like Big Lebowski or Dazed and Confused. You
I
take any good ones
know.
from that?
I don't think I took
Sorry,
anything
then.
good enough.
Sorry, man.
Toodles marbles.
We'll talk later.
No,
Gah!
it's fine. No, this is for Shaun forever. Hit the button. Hit the fucking button.
I had to
I'll
get
let you
in there,
guys
man.
cool down. I want to talk about how
This is important.
this whole Lost Boys hideout is just screaming Foot Clan to me. like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The first time you see the Foot Clan, it's just that minus the arcade games and the cigarette smoking. Like,
This is what we do.
like that's what I want that song over. I want it over.
Please make it so TikTok.
This is what we do. This is the epitome of like, where are the parents? This whole hangout is just like, I know it's the Lost Boys without parents and that way they do, but man, like it's just so chaotic. I'm
Yeah.
sure as a kid you were like, this is so awesome.
Mhm.
As an adult, I was doing the Robin Williams thing. I was just like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
Stop it! Shut up! Stop throwing the ball at
It's
me.
so dangerous.
Yeah, it was just chaos going on there, like organized chaos.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. By the way, I'm going to take Peter Pan's just original dagger, not the marbles. So that's just what I have for my prop. He has a dagger that he swipes Rufio's pants with.
Okay,
That's
then.
my prop.
There you
Okay,
go.
goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right. Rufio.
This is so cool.
Rufio.
Is he cool I'm asking you as a
Yes.
child? This is cool, right?
This is everything.
Yes.
Rufio was the man in this. This is why you watch
He's
this movie
the
to
boy,
get to
but that's-
Rufio.
Yeah. And like all the did you do all this stuff as kids? Did you shout Bangerang? Did you do the fingers in your face and stuff like that? Like that all seems like stuff that I would have taken into my normal life and been like, we do these now.
I probably did it like once
We
or
do this
twice.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, me and my brother would just mess around with that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Is this sign language for anything?
I don't
don't
know.
know if it is or not. I
I
didn't.
think it's like love, food.
Yeah, food.
But this was like
it's got to be something.
it's got to be like chicken or like or
I'm
or
fucking
cool
stoked
or
for you, dude.
yeah, dude, like dude, stoked for you, bro.
Yeah.
I had never heard the word Bangerang until there's a unbelievably awesome rap group from the Twin Cities called Doomtree.
Mm.
They have a song called Bangerang, and that's the first time I had ever heard the term
It's
Bangerang.
like Jamaican slang.
It
right?
is, yeah. It means an uproar or disturbance.
Oh,
But I'm surprised that I'd never heard anyone say this because I'm assuming this was probably a big thing to say Bangerang, right? Like
Yeah.
after this movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the usage of like sort of making up a word and being like, this is a big part of this movie. You
Yeah,
know?
my stepbrother says it all the time. My stepbrother Jordan, he just says Bangerang every time we agree upon a plan or something.
Bangerang.
You know, like it's like fuck it, dude, let's go bowling. It's like that.
Bangerang, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, did you recognize a couple of the Lost Boys actors from past movies we've done?
Don't Ask is in a lot of stuff.
It's hard to figure out what. Some of them have names, some of them don't.
Yeah.
I wrote down 2 of them that were in past movies. Jason Fisher, he played Kevin in Parenthood. He was the kid. He has longer hair in this movie, but he is one of the Lost Boys. You know, the Steve Martin's son in Parenthood.
Okay.
He's in this. Also, Alex Zuckerman is the curly redhead kid. Did you recognize his face at all?
Oh, yes.
He's the bully in Blank Check.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah,
yes.
he is. So this was his era. The one where he gets his bike, run over, and he's like, "Hey man, you're gonna have to pay more than that."
Pay more than that. Yeah, he's like Butch. His name's Butch.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's at the amusement park, like
Yep.
like with the ladies and shit.
Yes. But I didn't necessarily. I think where this movie starts to falter, though, is other than Rufio, I don't really like any of these kids. Like I'm not infatuated with any of these kids. Like we're so spoiled in modern day world of these amazing kid actors. Like, these kids were not good actors.
I'm infatuated with Thud.
Thud Butt. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one's that?
That's the big guy.
The
yeah,
large man.
I love him.
Dude, and he's got his own
He's
cheese
adorable.
during the feast. It says Chud Butt on it. Did you see that? The cheese does. It says Chud Butt when Peter finally imagines.
Amazing, yeah.
It's great. But I think I'm infatuated with Thud.
Yeah, I think I disagree with you a little bit because I also like the little kid who's like feeling up his face and stuff.
I like him the most. For some reason his face is so expressive.
Well, just like
Pockets.
Pockets.
as he's like feeling Peter Pan's face. I just imagine him like.
Yeah.
But I love.
Get some tension
Yeah,
back to that.
I
you know,
love that,
shock
and
it.
like made me tear up a little bit where he's just like, "Oh, there you are, Peter."
When he's got when he pushes back, he's got the big smile on
Yes.
his face.
You think
and
that's really his voice?
oh, there you are, Peter.
It doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like it was an overdub.
Maybe.
Well, if Tank believes, maybe he is. I don't know.
When they are sitting at that table and doing the food thing, I love the creative choice to put Peter Pan. He's basically sitting on the ground, but they're sitting on chairs.
Yeah.
So his head is the same height as theirs.
Yeah.
But
So
he's this large man.
He's like little like them.
Yeah, I love the creative choice of that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's well, I was just gonna say it's when he finally gets to dinner and he's just exhausted. And
Yeah.
they've just been putting him through the ringer on this, and that's a hilarious scene, by the way. There part of that too. They had to reverse part of it
Yeah.
because like when
Rufio thing.
Rufio when he
Yeah.
puts the blade to his face, that's all in reverse. Watch his mouth. Like he had to speak in reverse
Yeah.
to try to match up with it. And then it was basically pulling away, and then he walked backwards. Very interesting idea, creative choice.
Yeah,
there.
you wouldn't see that unless you read that.
Yeah,
Like it's pretty seamless.
yeah. And I never guessed until I read that
Yeah.
little
No.
moment.
You never would.
But I do have to go back to Mike saying I don't really care for these kid actors. When he finally gets Rufio, right, and he flips the frosting at him. They just eat frosting pies.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, as a kid, this was the scene. I mentioned it on the show before, I think, but I was so hungry every time
Frosting
I
pies.
watched it. There's just like a huge ass turkey. There's whatever else, and even when they're not eating food, knowing that food is going to show up in their imagination.
Yeah.
Even them like doing this, I'm like, I'm so hungry
That giant
with
burger.
nothing.
Ooh.
you
Yeah,
know?
when Thud puts together the sandwich or the
Ooh.
burger or
Yeah,
whatever
I
he's
want
putting together,
that.
oh, we're good.
Took some miming classes,
Yeah.
but like it looked great as a kid. But now I'm just like, that will kill me
There's
if
the
I eat an ounce of that.
there's
I'll die.
yeah, exactly. It's like that's gonna give me type 2.
Yeah.
And but you think about it, and then you're like, these kid actors. It's a little bit rough because you're doing it, Peter. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it, Peter. You're mad. You but do it. Okay.
It's not that great. Like put like the Stranger Kids season 1 into this movie. Like
Stranger
this,
Things.
what is this? Stranger Kids.
Yeah.
Stranger Thing.
pretty
Take
weird.
the Stranger Things kids from season 1 and insert them into the main characters of the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sold.
You're all in.
Oh, I'm sold.
Yeah. Yeah. I want this to be up until this point. I was talking to my brother a little bit about this movie, right? And he was like, "Oh yeah, Hook. Oh yeah, absolutely." My brother Ray, I've mentioned him before, and we were talking about this, and we got to talking about how you did you guys watch this with subtitles?
Yes.
Have you read any of the books?
No.
We got onto the subject of, you know what? The subtitles were better. The book was better. The subtitles were better. Yeah. Have you read Hook? No, I've seen Hook. I've read. I have read Hook. I read the subtitles because once you get onto the subtitles of like what Smee and Captain Hook are saying to each other, it's really hard to understand what they're saying to each other. And there are even points that Captain Hook and Smee are. Captain Hook will say something and then he says, Smee, translate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to read the subtitles to stay on par. And I'm just thinking, we're just like, yeah, the subtitles were better. It's like reading the book, man. Yeah, I've read Hook.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Dude, appreciation thread of their relationship, Smee and Hook. I feel like this might be the best scene of the movie when he's in his chambers and the bed's coming down and they're talking and they're figuring this out. Like they have a
Don't stop me this time, Smee.
Yeah, that is like, this is all really intense stuff going on here. And they have a really cool Bob Hoskins. I love him in Smee.
Yep.
I don't know who else you put in that role and how well he works with Dustin Hoffman in this whole thing.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, we got him unrecognizable from our Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
yeah.
like bearded and everything. He looks fantastic. He was a huge champion for this production.
Really?
Like, there was a day where there was like maybe like a half 15 hour day that they were filming, and he bought up to 300 extras beer
when it was all over.
Yeah, he just bought him beer and took beer to him and had him just take a break for a sec. He would also like kind of lift spirits while on set.
He seems that way. He seems like that role in the movie.
Yes.
He seems like Smee's kind of the one that's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I love that about him. But he would, like, if things were like, oh, this is so frustrating, he would just sing different variations of Hello by Lionel Richie. It's like, that's just amazing. Like, he'd just be like, singing various versions of Hello by Lionel Richie, but also, like, I was thinking new Taylor Swift. And, hi, it's me. I'm the one, it's me. Do you know?
Or
Taylor Swift?
Anti-hero?
Yes.
Or rooting for the anti.
I just want him to be singing that too, like on set.
I immediately went to Adele. Hello, it's me.
There it is.
Here's my. Let's say you're gonna take this whole story and you're gonna make it a darker modern day adaptation to this story. The only person that can play Captain Hook, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Damn.
Can you imagine him as like a truly scary pirate,
like his
that is fully in on it?
His Gangs of New York kind of thing.
Mix that with like There Will Be Blood,
and
just put that into the Captain Hook ethos.
Anytime he's on screen, I'm watching it.
Just make it dark. Make it Gangs of New York meets Hook, and put him as Captain Hook. You've got it. I think you've absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
He's comical. It's maniacal, at times. And for him to be able to do that and kill with a smile on his face, you bet. 100%, sir.
So I do like their back and forth a lot, but I gotta say the tone of these scenes mixed with the Lost Boys and Robin Williams just doesn't really click with me. The back and forth going from that storyline,
kids,
and his like trying to pretty much gaslight Jack into like being his son, pretty much. It doesn't quite work for me. It's just like the tone is a little bit kind of all over the place.
It's broken
with
up for sure.
Yeah, and that's one of the flaws that I've noticed, like in rewatching. But
just him getting Jack on his side.
It's that. It's the whole. That whole story mixed with the Lost Boys. Like Lost Boys is just like fun, and this is just like
not
weird.
Not.
Yeah, it just doesn't
fit.
quite mesh with me. But
well, Captain Hook is trying to turn Jack into a pirate.
Yeah.
Which, as we know from the beginning of this movie, Peter Banning is a pirate.
That's
yes,
right.
he is.
So, you know, he's trying to age him faster than he should as a kid. He's trying to pull him out of being a kid, you know? So, yeah, you're right. And maybe that was my takeaway.
Yeah,
from
no,
it.
I was like, yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. It's just
Just the way they did
The
it.
dating-
It doesn't
Yeah.
work the way they did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get it. It's very clever. How's that working out for you?
How's that work? Being clever.
Being clever.
I will say this. I thought, you know what? I thought that Dustin Hoffman's performance as Captain Hook was amazing and impeccable. And maybe the only other person who could pull it off was, in fact, Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm just going to take it back real fast. Because I just found out Dustin Hoffman's just doing Jeremy Irons. He's just doing Jeremy Irons. Have you ever
That's
seen Jeremy
very
Irons
true.
in something? It's just, like the voice?
Yeah.
Just give me a deep fake of Jeremy Irons
Yeah.
for just a moment underneath the facial. He's just must have met him in a
Wow.
coffee bar, and you're
That's
just like,
very
Very
true.
true.
I'm just okay, fine. Jeremy
All right.
Irons, I've got it.
Do Jeremy Irons and With a Vengeance, Die Hard.
And with
Someone do that.
That's what
There we
he's.
go.
That's basically what he's doing.
you got it.
So in sadness, Peter starts to remember his old life and how he ended up out of Neverland and with his family. It is with this revelation that Peter suddenly remembers why he left Neverland behind and grew up. He wanted to be a father. Finding his now happy thought, Peter is able to fly again, and to the joy of the Lost Boys, becomes Peter Pan. So we learn a lot about this. They took some liberties here. Basically, Peter marries his grandmother, ex-girlfriend's granddaughter, who's sort of like his sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of an Aliens effect opposite. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'm thinking about just how insanely awkward this whole thing is. And then, okay, picture we're having this flashback where he kisses, Peter Pan kisses Moira, and now he's like, I live here now. And so he still remember. You don't forget right away. So there's still a year where he still knows that he used to bang grandma,
Yeah.
and now he's banging Mo,
Yeah.
and but grandma's got to hear him and Mo banging.
Well, he goes up to her.
We're going down from Neverland to the ground.
To
Mo! Mike O'Malley, Peter Pan.
This is
The
just
green team.
This is so weird. Like, this was not part of the original.
I don't
this
think
this was all rewritten. This whole the original story had nothing to do about Peter Pan grew up and became a lawyer or whatever.
No.
Like, so this is someone's brain made this work to be like, be awesome. So I know he used to be with Wendy, but now let's make him get with Wendy's granddaughter. Mo might even be Peter Pan's biological relation.
and
Ugh.
she
Like,
watches him.
this is weird.
She
Oh, yeah.
watches him go up to her as she's sleeping and kiss her on the mouth. She's like, "Don't go and sexually assault my granddaughter right now."
While
Didn't
Tinkerbell is out the window going, "What the fuck? I thought
Yeah.
we were going to be together."
And she's
Look,
way
Tank.
hotter.
look, Tank, look, it's not a good situation for you and Peter to be hooking up. We don't know. You don't want to try that. We've seen
It's just
No.
impractical, really.
there's not there. It's impractical.
I'm not even going to say what I'm going to say.
No, it's fine. We all know. Everyone's
say it
thinking
after-
it.
I'll say it when the
Everyone's
recording-
thinking it. We're just
Hey,
talking about it.
Pixie dust is a hell of a drug. All right? That's all I'm saying.
Why you don't need Viagra when you got Pixie?
Pixie dust makes you think you can fit things where they obviously can't.
Move on.
Okay? Pixie dust. Pixie crust. Anyways, we go on to the move of.
I hate.
Mike is shaking his head at me in the
No, I'm just.
severe disappointment.
I just don't understand where this whole thing happened.
Why
And
does
what-
the-
did you
Hey.
Did you realize this as a kid? Like, were you like, oh yeah, he used to date Wendy, his
Well,
grandma? Like, does this
I never
even come through?
I never thought about it. I just saw kissing. I'm like, I want to do that someday.
Take it back. Take it back to when Wendy
Someday, bud.
is Wendy is
Still
trying
not.
to tell Peter Banning about his origins. What do you remember? Hey, me and you, we used to be a thing. We used to be the item. Now,
In fact, it's
granted,
kinda
hey,
fucked up
they
you don't
were
remember.
let's call it 12, 13. We're going to call it 12. They're 12. They didn't think about this type of stuff, okay? It was innocence, all right? But you have Tink here. I don't know how old Tink is. How old is Tink? She certainly looks like she's in her mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
And
Those
yeah,
legs.
and she's got legs, as ZZ Top would say. and Z, Tink Tink is the one after Peter Pan. I think Tink's in the fault here.
ZZ Top made it into our Hook episode. Great.
Whatever you got to do.
Do you want to?
Mike's Fan Theories.
Don't you worry about a thing.
I'm Shaun.
AJ, help me out in here. You just opened up a door. There is a Reddit thread. Someone named Falcateer.
All right.
I've got this from a lot of what he said. So essentially, Tinkerbell is a manipulative ex who made a deal with Captain Hook to get Peter Pan back to Neverland. So when Peter left Neverland, Tink was pissed. She obviously loved him. So she burns down Wendy's house. We always knew when she was jealous of Wendy, and she had a temper. Tinkerbell's always had a temper. She then negotiated a truce with Hook and the pirates. This let the Lost Boys stay safe, gave the pirates time to build their village up. Tink had a very cordial relationship with Captain Hook. She was like talking to him the whole time when they were there, right? He seems more than willing to like listen to her. The Lost Boys treehouse is right there. If Captain Hook, the goon, was really mad, he would have just destroyed them. He didn't.
Right.
So maybe he's not so much a goon, or maybe there's a truce that's been negotiated in order for this big plan to happen. Tinkerbell wanted to lure Peter back to Neverland, so she helps Hook fly to the real world with pixie dust to transport Jack and Maggie to Neverland, then conveniently shows back up right as Peter needs to go as well.
Right.
She helps Hook and Smee with the plan, like she implants plans on how to get Jack and Maggie to convert into pirates, and then she's making Peter remember his old life. It completely succeeds, and as soon as it does, she makes her wish to become a beautiful, full-size human being.
Right.
And they make out, and this is everything she wanted, except it goes wrong right at the end there. It triggers the thought of Moira.
Yes, Moira.
And so there's a thought that Tinkerbell literally was the whole cause behind all of this new story.
Was the mastermind.
Yes.
I can see that.
Behind this
whole thing.
That's genius.
And she still, even at the end's like, I'll be here if you need me.
Yeah. Which is a great line.
She's a manipulative ex.
She's in love. She's in love with Peter. Always wanted him. This makes total and complete sense.
Man, it is always the drop-dead gorgeous ones.
You gotta
absolute
watch out.
batshit insane.
Save it for a woman to stick her nose in her tiny hands and just make it for man.
But she's got though
Satire.
There are some take all this scariness away. There are some beautiful moments here in these scenes, like everyone who grows up has to die someday.
Yeah.
There are things that really hit you home as you're getting a little older in life from this movie, that being one of them. I love the idea of when he finally gets his happy thought and he's flying, but then he falls. And she's like, you have to keep thinking the happy thought. That is such a perfect way to think about life.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a good mood, hang on to that good mood and just keep using that good mood, because the minute you like stop thinking about that success you had, like you go right back into fuck.
All you need is that one happy thought.
And but you have to keep you have to keep it and keep it in your
thought.
sights and move. And I love that little correlation they made there.
It's really cool. The whole like message comes clearly through, and even I don't think we're quite there yet, but Carrie Fisher wrote a lot of lines for Tinkerbell, uncredited, and for Hook as well, because they needed more fleshed out. Steven Spielberg wanted, and so she did that. And her line at the end, where she's like, "You know that place where you're half awake and
place between sleep and awake.
Yes,
the place where you still remember dreaming. That's where I'll always have you.
That is beautiful.
That's where I'll be waiting.
That is
gorgeous
beautiful. And that's
So
Carrie
gorgeous.
Fisher. Carrie Fisher wrote that line.
That's like I'll see you in another life when we are both cats.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Well, so when he is like seeing his reflection of his like past self in the thing, it always terrified me, and I just figured it out why on this rewatch. Is when he's looking into the pool and he sees his reflection as a younger, he's got like his reflection's got like wide eyes. He's like, and it almost looks like he's shocked, like he's dead. and it reminds me of the boy in Stand By Me, the shot of his face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so I correlate that two together, and I can never unsee it
You
now.
see them both together.
Yeah, it looks like the same kind of face, and I don't know why he's making that face, but it terrifies me.
I have a theory about, and I think it's a common theory, actually, that I just will eventually share, if we get to it, about the Lost Boys in general.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just who they are and where they came from. But I'd like to think that as he found his happy thought, is Peter Pan a superhero?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like this is the basis of every
Marvel.
single Marvel superhero. Hey, let's do at least an hour and 15 of origin story until he finally accepts who he is and then races through a vertical tunnel and is automatically in his super suit.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And there's only 15 minutes of him in his super suit.
It only took this long to get him into super suit.
I mean, I bet a lot of Marvel shit takes from this script a lot, like especially origin stories.
Probably. yeah.
That's kind of a formula.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It is very exhausting.
Yes.
That, but obviously in '91,
Woo!
hadn't been done that much, I guess.
we were still waiting for an X-Men movie at that point. We're like, please make a movie out of X-Men. I think Hugh Jackman would be a great Wolverine.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite lines I didn't get to talk about was when they're commenting on Peter, and they're like, he's old. He's like, yeah, and he's fat, and then Thud's just like, not so fat to me. It's like,
yeah.
for some reason that
90s
just stuck
fat
out.
jokes,
It's just like, not so fat to me. It's like, because I'm clearly the big guy.
They roll me up in a ball and roll me down gangways.
Yeah.
It's pretty effective, but honestly, they should be more sensible.
Yeah,
Well, before the last scene, I wanted to point out when he actually does come back then and he kisses full-size Tinkerbell.
For no reason, okay? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I'm gonna let you get to that. She's that way for no reason. Like,
There's-
why?
This is
Why is
why
this scene
the
here?
point. This is why the Tinkerbell theory makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what is the point of this?
Yeah.
All we're proving is that Peter Pan was a fucking man whore. Like he had mermaids, he had
Fuck yeah,
Wendy, he had Tinkerbell.
had it all.
He had it all, and he gave it up for kids.
Stupid kids who like baseball and plays.
What a dummy.
No, but I love she kisses him, and he's like, "No, I love Moira," and then he's like, "But goddamn, you're so hot," and he wants to go back in for a kiss. He's like it keeps playing up to this thing like he still really does kind of want this life.
The kids are like, Peter Pan, back to his old ways. That's my man right there. Pan the man.
Dude just had a foursome in the ocean with those
They're
mermaids.
fucking incredible, dude. And a clam.
Dang,
He got inside those clams.
we're going so long. We got to finish.
Yeah,
this.
we do.
Peter and the Lost Boys arrive to fight the pirates. Maggie is rescued and Rufio is killed. Jack's spell is broken and returns to his dad. Peter then jumps back into battle against Hook. During the final fight, Hook misses a strike at Peter and ends up puncturing the crocodile, who seems to return to life and ends up eating Hook. With Hook gone, Peter decides to return home a happy and family-loving man. I was wondering, I'm like, why is this a stunt double for Robin Williams as he's Peter Pan? This is crazy. Like, he just seems like he's transformed into this character. You know why?
Why
you know
is
why
that?
it seems subconsciously why all of a sudden he's Peter Pan? Because they shaved his arms.
That's
Is
right.
that it?
Yes.
And that takes like 6 hours.
Robin Williams might be the hairiest man in the history of cinema.
He might be, yeah.
And it's once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Wow.
His whole body is shaved.
Wow.
And it makes him look like a kid again.
Wow. Yeah, and his hair is really disheveled like Peter
Yes.
Pan. He does look a lot
And
different.
yeah, no 5 o'clock shadow
Right.
anymore. He's like, that's all it was.
It's
I
very
didn't-
subtle.
I didn't see or read anything about it. Did they also put at least a little bit of a thick suit on the man? You know, like a fat
Yeah.
suit.
Maybe.
Did they maybe do a little bit of that?
I think you
because
might be right.
by
Maybe
the time-
baggier clothes at least.
Yeah, like there are points when he's like when you see him and it zooms in on him sitting in the airplane chair.
Yeah.
You know, like in his seat, you could definitely see some gut. And then but later on, maybe he was just pushing out.
Mm.
You know, later on when they're like painting him, it's like,
Yeah.
how's this gonna help me get my kids back?
Oh yeah,
He's
he
just
looks
like-
pretty good.
and he looks very
His whole
trim.
body's
He
shaved,
looks
dude.
great, and so, how did they shave him back then? They didn't have
Just saying,
Manscaped back
man.
then, bro.
Hey.
Call us, Manscaped.
Hey, give us a shout
Yeah,
out.
that's
bro.
a free one.
Yeah, you can have that one for free. Not the one next one you got paid for. But seriously though, that was my thought. But you're right. Shaved 100%. His arms are completely shaved.
It's very weird.
Everything.
Very subtle.
They shaved him
everything?
everywhere.
Everything.
Because there was a sex scene with Tinkerbell that they
Oh.
cut out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Missionary and stuff.
Gross. I don't understand why Rufio has to die in this.
I think they do it very well though. I see what you're saying because it's been very, very whimsical up to this point, and
Yes.
it doesn't seem like Hook is really that dangerous.
I mean, a couple pirates die, but it's like we don't care.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
like
he's a killer.
It's like in Indiana Jones where he's like does all the sword
Yeah,
tricks. He
yeah,
just
yeah.
pulls out his gun.
You're
It's
like, that guy's fine.
another one of
He's
those.
Fine.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, he actually kills a character that we really care about, and it's very impactful.
The Lost Boys are done.
Yeah,
Rufio's the only reason the Lost Boys are around right now.
he's the only
Thud
oldest
Bud-
one.
Thud
Thud ain't
Bud-
taking over.
Thud can't even hold a sword. His move is to roll like a fucking ball.
He's just
They're
going.
screwed.
He's not going to take like a wind skateboard down that thing. He's just
No.
going to go Blanca down that whole thing.
Blanca, thank you. I was trying to think of it.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I don't know.
There's Kano all up in that.
This whole end of this movie just is like going on forever. This is where I can't decide if this is like, is this an adult movie or a kids movie? Because there are
I think that's what Spielberg is beautiful at, and great at. To be honest,
But
is
did
kinda
he
blurring that line.
miss the mark on this movie though? Because that is like Goonies.
Yeah.
All these other things like you're like, yeah, I get it. Like kids can watch this and adults can watch this and it's all blending together. But man, like all of a sudden it's like we had these really deep moments and then it's like cheeseball fights with pirates, you know, and like
the great war that
yeah, this was not a really great war.
Hook talked about. It's like you literally called in reinforcements from the bar, Shmee. like you know, and I kind of agree with you. I think there is a point that it kind of lingers. It kind of runs on a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean this is 2
hours
hours
and
20
minutes?
It,
Yeah.
it's way too long.
yeah.
Way too long, definitely. I also like that, and it doesn't really make sense in that like differentiating the adult movie with the kids movie. He says death would be a great adventure. Peter Pan says that in rebuttal to Captain Hook, and I just imagine like them cutting to the kids and like, what? No,
we're staying young forever.
we go home now, right? you hero this.
Well, we don't want to die. You're talking about dying. We want to go home.
Yeah. You're back to your
So-
old fucking man whore. I don't care if I die. I'll drink anything, drink and fuck and smoke anything.
Yeah.
Ways.
Jesus. Dude,
Mermaids, Dad? How do you even do that?
That dude lived his early 20s for like 70 years.
We're back to this. I got
He
it.
did.
Sir.
He lived his early 20s for like 70
God,
years.
I'd give anything.
He just got to cruise through whatever he wanted. Just killing dudes, banging mermaids.
Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah, he
the
just-
scene right now.
He just and Tink had to witness
Wooderson.
all of it. Wooderson, yeah, you know. Posse track. Anyways.
What do you guys think happens here? This didn't make sense to me as a kid, and doesn't make sense to me now when Hook is defeated and like gets swallowed by the croc. Where'd he go?
The croc's not alive. Is it?
It was just it's like this some sort of poetic justice way of him being offed and
Seems
and
like
finished.
a cop out.
Kind of seems that way, and I feel like I don't know. Like I really like some of the lines that are spoken throughout this. Some of them are even taken from the original writings and stories and whatnot. But like, you know, death would be a great adventure. You know, that kind of a thing. And I don't know. I just feel like it drags on for a long time. They need his kids to believe in him. You know, it could have ended. There was several times. I think, honestly, 3. I'm like not even exaggerating that this could have ended.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And that was probably the most frustrating part of it, I guess, is in that.
We get Bob Hoskins again questioning whatever with whether it was a dream or not. But also, you get Bob Hoskins again because he's so good.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll just put you in another character because we love Bob
I just don't get
Hoskins
it.
so much.
I don't get the end.
You
I don't get
don't.
why is he there? There's no theory
That's my
that can
only
explain this.
theory.
Yeah, just like, oh, there he is.
He's good. So
or he dreamed the whole thing. And like Moira never went to Neverland, right? She doesn't know anything about this. Because otherwise she would be weird about marrying Peter because he had a relationship with her grandma. So that means she's just like, where were you guys? They're like, we were in Neverland with pirates and Dad was Peter Pan. And she's like, okay. And then, oh my God, fucking Toodles is flying. And she's just like, cool. Like there's no explanation
found
for
his marbles.
any of this at
Yep.
all. And of course, Robin Williams is like, I'm the best dad ever. I'm Peter Pan. And then like a week's gonna go by, and he's like, I need to get that cell phone. Actually, we need to see if that deal went through
Let's
because
think
we're running out of money.
And she's like, where have you been? And he's like,
Can we-
back on the ferry desk.
Dude. bro. Okay, so this was a joke. There was Maggie mentioned a window washer who came around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Hoskins, Shmee is a janitor, like city
Yep.
worker kind of person.
Mopping the streets.
Okay, so
Hello.
so the scary people are just blue collar workers in London, and then you got to think about this. So what would, if this was all a dream, what actually happened? Peter Banning went on like a 3-day bender.
Yep. Cedar
And-
Ridge.
Yep.
Because he
And-
was pounding whiskey.
All those bottles and
He did,
cans
he
around him, and he compressed them all up, and then
Woke
he's
up
just
next to a fountain.
outside of a
Where
fountain.
was his kids?
But no, his kids.
Who cares?
I don't even care.
His kids snuck out the window. That's all that matters.
To go to a Manchester United game or something like that.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. What do you do in England? You go.
Yeah, it's less of a dream and more of a fucking waking nightmare 3-day bender that he was on. I like that better.
I don't buy that because he's not hungover.
It's true. That ferry dust is a hell of a drug, I'm telling you.
Yeah. See, there's also fairy dust involved,
I
Mike.
know.
Okay, so that's why he can climb a drain pipe.
Well, what do you guys got? Anything else?
That's
you
it,
wanna-
man. We gotta wrap it up.
Let's
We've
finish
gone
this.
long. I was like, who knew Hook would be our longest episode? If you're still with us, here we go. We've stripped away the nostalgia. We've talked about it with a modern eye. We got to give our ratings. Shaun, you are
Okay.
first.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Whoa.
Well, I need AJ to piggyback off. I think this movie's pretty fun, man. I all the nostalgia feels got to me, but obviously stripping those away. I'm just gonna say my Letterboxd review. If you're on Letterboxd, go follow me.
Yeah.
This is my immediate
Shaun
thought.
Pryor 2 through 7.
That's right. As cheesy as it is sometimes and just kind of straightforward, you can't help but smile with Spielberg's whimsical direction, John Williams' wonderful score. We didn't talk about that much.
Very true.
A little Home Alone reminiscent.
Oh, very much.
John Williams' wonderful score and Robin Williams just simply being on screen. That's my review. I give this movie. It's a fine movie. I'm gonna go 6 on this.
6 even for Shaun. AJ, how about you, man?
Watching this movie now, you have to strip away all the nostalgia.
Yep.
Me watching it with my mom and my brothers and TBS and all that good stuff, right? The commercials. You have to think about it in a way. How much do I want to rewatch this movie? How much did I enjoy watching it this time around? And I had no problem going back and revisiting this every time I felt I needed to in preparation for this episode. So that being said, I still get taken away. I'm a little off-put by the endings of things. Is it real? Is it not? Toodles flies away. It's got to be real, right? Moira sees it. You think about it that way. You have to Toodles. You have to put it together in your own head, and I like to think that it was all real. And there are moments in this that, especially after having my own child now for a week in watching this, and watching people grow up, Peter Pan grow up, that it certainly hits you a little bit differently. So I think it's a very heartwarming movie. I think it talks a lot about growing up. I think it talks about in any stage of life. And I think that the performances are amazing. Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams are two sides of the same coin, if you will, in this movie, and it's phenomenal to watch. That all being said, I'd be happy to rewatch this at any point in time, and I'm going to give it a straight up 8.
Wow.
Straight up 8 for the age. For me, a movie that's called Hook, but it's about Peter Pan, where Hook doesn't show up for 40 minutes in, and he's the best character. Way too long. Way too long. Too many bad kid actors. I don't know if this is an adult movie or a kids movie, and I don't think they figured it out. And I think that's why it does have the worst rating of a Steven Spielberg movies, because they just couldn't quite figure it out.
I will say, sorry to interrupt. This is what I wanted to say in my review. This is nowhere near the worst Spielberg movie.
No,
at
far
all.
from it.
No, but
Sorry.
I can see why the ratings are that way.
Yes.
It's confusing. The whole thing's confusing. The only saving grace for me is Dustin Hoffman and Bob Hoskins. Underneath that, followed by Robin Williams. I don't think this is Robin Williams' best movie by far.
No,
Like,
definitely not.
Like
Flubber.
Flubber, yeah. So I probably would have given this, if you had made me do this 2 years ago, I would have given this like a 5. But I have a kid now, and there is some messed up things that makes this an adult movie for me. In particular, the line that Moira says, "Your children love you. They want to play with you. How long do you think that lasts? We have a few special years with our children when they're the ones that want us around. It's so fast, Peter. It's a few years and it's over. And if you're not being careful, you're missing it." That is like
almost made me tear up.
Yeah,
when
I
heard
had
that,
to make
man.
it through that. I want someone to redo this movie. Get rid of the fucking cheesy kid shit. Make this a dark movie about the perils of growing up.
Make it vampires.
Make it vampires.
Lost Boys.
Twilight.
So I do have to upgrade it to that because of some lessons it kind of taught me more of an adult. So I'm a 6.45723.
Bullshit, Michael.
6.45. David Gould, he had to come back in on this modern rating. He said, watching this movie again, all I could do was sit there and say to myself, God, I miss Robin Williams. What a true legend at his craft. He was funny but serious. He was committed to the parts. He played 110%. You must have true range to go from the most punchable face to a man flying in tights. By the way, I didn't have a punchable face in this movie.
Shit, we didn't even do it.
We didn't
And
try.
it's
but-
allowed. I didn't have anyone. I didn't want to write one down because I didn't have one.
No, Phil Collins.
It's Brad.
Shut up.
It's Brad.
Watching this film as a man with 2 small children was a critical reminder never to let go of your inner Peter Pan. Run around with your kids, eat the world's most invisible sandwich, and above all else, sword fight pirates to the death. This film is a piece of art. Everyone is committed to their role and plays their part beautifully. A few times I would say, where are the parents? But others, I contemplated a red mohawk. I still return to this movie often like Peter to Neverland, and because of its message, I will remember to put away my phone now and again and play make-believe with my son and daughter. So with the mighty Roosters Crow, my modern-day rating is an 8.3.
Wow.
That takes us to a 7.19. 7.19 takes us about middle of the pack for everything we've done. That is just below Groundhog Day and just above Spaceballs.
Just above Spaceballs.
Just above
Wow.
Spaceballs and Fast and the Furious.
I'm
So
good with that.
I
like
feel
that.
okay with that.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm glad we're at a 7.1 rather than its IMDb of
7, yeah.
6 something.
We're saying
right?
it's
6.9.
6.9.
Slightly better.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. A bunch of great movies coming up, followed by an executive producer pick. This one is following. We got American Psycho. And then following that, we have Kindergarten Cop. I know we said
we
that.
are doing it.
There's some special stuff. In fact, if you're a Patreon member, we're going to ask you a few very special questions that might hint at what's coming up and why we are doing Kindergarten Cop. So make sure you're tuned into the Patreon.
Please.
If you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, The Burbs.
Yeah, man.
Great episode.
Hit that up.
That is a fun one. I think you should check that out. And don't forget, we have a voicemail. Call us at 319-804-9596. Here's today's voicemail.
Gentlemen, this is another Jason from Nova Scotia, not the guy with the poems.
Wow.
Not into poems,
Oh.
not really my sort of thing,
Fair.
more of a singer. Oh, wait, that's a haiku. Anyways, absolutely loving
Garth.
the show. Found out it, like everyone now, through the Burcast. But keep doing what you're doing. Really enjoying it. I've been going in reverse order, which in itself is funny to hear how you guys progress over time. Only degress. Big fan of the Cedar Ridge whiskey, cedarridge.com. Keep doing what you're doing. Really, really loving your stuff.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you, Jason.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com. Get it right.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com, baby.
Thanks for calling in, Jason.
So nice of you.
And we're going to work
you.
on, if you have fun stuff to send us, you've got mail.
You've
We're
got
going to have a
mail.
P.O. box here soon, but if you want to actually send us something, we'll hook you up with an address. Our buddy, who sent us this?
This is Joey Piemonte.
Joey Piemonte.
Of Not Your Father's Beer Shirt. Check him out. He's comments on everything that we do.
Yeah.
He's such a good supporter of this show.
Instagram, Not Your Father's Beer Shirts, right?
Yes. Go take a look at his stuff.
God, he's always got great stuff.
He individualized everything for us. This is crazy. This is Fat Tire. With
Pee Wee
that
That's
Herman.
amazing.
on it.
He's a
I've been-
champion of nostalgia,
He
guys.
is.
He
Yes.
really is. He's
Been
a champion
drinking-
of nostalgia.
Been drinking out of this
Three Ninjas koozie.
with our faces on
What?
it.
There's one with faces?
Yeah, there's shirts too.
No one told me that. Oh, my God. These are incredible.
Here you go, Mike.
Dude, Joey, these are unbelievable, man.
Yes.
God, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Three Ninjas shirt with my face on it. Are you kidding?
Dude.
Gwar.
Salem Sandlot. That's incredible.
This will be. We just need to make this for sale.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we'll put a link to this because everybody should probably buy a Confused Breakfast Three Ninjas
Oh, my
shirt
gosh, yeah.
from Not Your Father's Beer Shirt.
That's
We'll put a link to
amazing.
that.
Bro.
What is that?
Amazing.
Looks like a shirt with Nicolas Cage, so that's mine.
Yeah, well, so that's
Oh.
obviously mine.
Fair enough.
That's fantastic, dude.
Dude.
Thank you so much for sending this. And if you guys got anything, we accept donations of beers and shirts and fun stuff. Oh, that's really cool too. What is this?
Koozies.
Koozies,
Oh, I want a
stickers.
koozie too, dude.
Heck
Koozies
yeah,
and
brother.
Stickers.
Dude, thank you so much, Joey.
We're gonna be setting up a PO box and shit here soon. So if you guys want to send us anything honestly, art even too, that'd be awesome. So,
Art would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, let's get out of here, man. What do you got for everybody?
Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you follow along on any social media platform at Confused Breakfast. Just search for us at Confused Breakfast, just about anywhere. Other than that, make sure you go to confusedbreakfast.com. You've got all the cool and pertinent links for us there and such. Also, leave us a review while you're listening. You got to do it right now. Just do it right now.
Right now, the episode's over.
Click
Go
it.
do it.
Go do it now. Sean?
Speaking of merch, you can go to our website, confusedbreakfast.com, and get some of our shirts, get some of our mugs, get some hats, get some hoodies. Just do it. Buy some stuff. Put it on your body. Your sexy ass body. I love you.
God. Also, go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast to further support this. Vote on upcoming movies. Bonus audio. Confusedbreakfast.com. Check out our ratings and reviews of all of our movies. See where everything stands. And this has been produced by our friends at LAS Media Group here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They do all the video for us, help us out with the studio location and everything. Producer Craig, thanks so much. LASmediagroup.com. That's it for us. Goodbye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bangerang.
Doomtree, bangarang, bangarang.